Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our last Derps and Burps episode. It is
Derps and
still
burps,
Derps and Burps. It's still your hosts, Stefie,
and still Julia for the last time.
and together for one last time, we're Derps and Burps. I mean, we're not going away, but the podcast is going away, guys. This is time to say
Yeah.
goodbye. Say goodbye. What's going on? Good pie? I want some good pie, actually. Dude, see, I had not a single for 92 episodes. I didn't have a single issue with doing the
True.
intro. And then it's like the
True.
last episode, and I'm struggling. But it's, you know what? We're
Yeah.
gonna keep that in. Okay, we're gonna see. We're real people. This is an emotional episode for us, so we're gonna keep it in.
Mhm.
Hi everybody. I hope you're doing fine. We're doing good, even though we're a little bit emotional. As we said, this is the last episode. If you didn't see our episode before this one, so episode 92, there is a whole episode where we explain why this is the last episode, why we're stopping with the regular podcasts. Again, we keep our door open in the sense of if there's like some major life updates, or if you want to do it every half a year an episode to just update you if there's something super cool happening. It might happen, but we're not going to promise
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, the regular podcasts are stopping. We're going to miss you a lot. Reasons, again, maybe we're going to link it also in the video. You can watch episode 92 if you want to hear again all the reasons. We're not going to go everything again. Anywho, we're going to miss you. So today's episode, we thought about something special. Obviously, first of all, we're gonna update you one last time about what happened
Mm.
with us. There's a few updates on our new brand that we starting and working on after Derps and Burps. That we're gonna update you a little bit about. Then normal life updates, and after the whole thing, we're gonna go through our Derps of the week. This week, it's not only one person; it's multiple ones. Little spoiler ahead. And then we're gonna talk about the podcast itself. We're going to talk about our favorite episodes, our least favorite episodes, our favorite guests, things that we learn, things that we miss, things that we maybe not going to miss about having a podcast, and so on and so on. So we would be super thankful if you go through this last episode together with us. Maybe share in the comments as well your feelings about the podcast. Maybe answer the same questions that we're gonna answer, like what's your favorite episode, what are you gonna miss about the podcast, and so on and so on. Anywho, we're gonna enjoy this last hour together, hopefully.
Mhm.
So let's get right into it. Steffi, what is new?
Actually posted my very first dance practice progress on Instagram and across my social media on I think Saturday, because it was the first time after I think in 3 months now, not two. I said two in the post, but it's been 3 months now. Dancing every Friday, learning a
Mm-hmm.
new choreo, that I feel like I'm proud of the progress I made within a whole, like only in an hour
Mm-hmm.
through dancing. And it was a very cool song as well, very cool choreography, sassy, sexy, a nice song
Mm-hmm.
about of the Refund Sisters, and the song is called Touch Me if you want to listen to it. I posted the
Mm-hmm.
reel and the TikTok on TikTok and Instagram and on Threads, I think, and Twitter. I think everywhere, everywhere, guys. And I'm very proud of that. It's a lot of fun. We continue with the dance class.
Mm-hmm.
Next course is on Friday next week. By the time you hear this, we're already on vacation probably. So, and then it starts mid-January again. And I'm super excited for that. And we also do a lot more like boy bands, which Ben's not happy about,
Oh yeah,
but
Ben only likes the female
yes, he's
groups,
always
right?
like, yeah, he's always like, yeah, if there's a girl band supremacy, I'm gonna continue with the course. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Ben. We want to do boy bands as well, not only the fucking girls, you princess. So yeah, we're just having like a banter every now and then. But Karina, our dance teacher or dance queen, is mixing it up pretty well. So she keeps the balance for everyone
Nice,
to
nice.
to make everyone happy. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Beside that, not really much going on. Working a lot. Um, I think I'm almost done with season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. By the way, and I really like it. Like mid season 1 already. I know most of you or everyone told me like get through season 1 and then it gets good, but I already enjoyed it halfway in
Mm-hmm.
season 1. Really,
Mm-hmm.
like it's cool, very cool. Um,
Enjoy it while you have the nice season 1, season 2.
yeah, yeah.
Start this cute anime, and then it gives you depression. You're
Let's
gonna
see if it.
enjoy it anyway, Steffi. Listen,
Yeah,
it's the good pain, okay? It
yeah.
is, it is not the type of pain where you're like, I mean, you're gonna be upset, but it's like the good hurt. So you're gonna be fine. You're gonna enjoy it.
I got broken once, and nothing can break me more than this one time. So with movies,
Oh,
so
don't worry about it. You're
trust
gonna
me.
read Sarah J. Maas. You're gonna read Akatar, and
Yep.
then you're gonna know what heartbreak is.
I was down there, like
What did
the
you
deepest hole ever.
what did you break? What break
It's
broke
just
you
it's
that
just
much?
ridiculous for most of the people, but for me, it's Star Wars, like the third movie
Oh,
with all the betrayal, and it's basically what it is in every book with love and the desperation to save the one you love the most, and you do everything, even if it means to just destroy everything. So
mm,
that was the biggest betrayal to me in movie and show history or series history. So let's see if something can top that. But speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We have to show you guys something.
Let me model it for you while Steffi explains.
Please post, Julia. So fake label sent us. I don't know if you remember, guys. We got to meet those guys at Vienna Comic Con, and they do insanely cool illustrations and art. Two artists together with a bunch of other people, and they create merch as well, clothing, apparel, which is insanely cool. And we got the
High quality.
latest Sukuna, high quality, and we got the latest Sukuna drop, which is just I just love it. Like I have the t-shirt on, Julia has the hoodie on.
It is so cute. So it's obviously it's one of my favorite characters. Guys, don't hate me for being a Sukuna simp. I know that the worlds are really like split between
Mm-hmm.
either most 90% of the people hate Sukuna, but
Oh, why?
you're gonna find out.
Okay, okay.
You're gonna
But
find
okay,
out.
I like them all. To be fair, I don't have like the favorite, but if I had to choose in season 1, it'd be Gato.
Gito.
But I
See,
like
that's
all of them.
it's
Like
there's
they're
like the
cool.
main thing. I think we talked about it before. Like when you
Yeah.
watch Jujutsu Kaisen, you start out even in the
Mm.
first season. There's like two camps. There's like first of all, in the first season, most of the people are like, "Oh yeah, Sukuna is pretty cool. He's like a villain and shit." But I like him. That changes
Yeah.
later. But
Yeah.
the thing is you're either a Gojo or you're a Gito kind of person,
Mhm.
and that's where like it splits the people, which is
Mhm.
fine, right? Because like Gojo and Gito are best friends, right? So yeah,
Thank you for
you're
the spoiler.
either don't they are they not friends yet? Fuck.
I, I I knew it already, but I just wanted to make you feel bad now.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
forgot. Wait, at which point? Wait, did they didn't reveal yet that they're friends? Oh.
I'm waiting for it as well. I knew it already, but
Yeah, okay. So,
I'm just waiting for the moment. Didn't
okay,
happen
fuck.
yet.
I'm
Thank you,
so sorry.
Julia.
Sorry for spoiling. Anyway, like you're gonna get to know the whole
Yeah,
thing,
I'll
but
get to the
basically
point.
it's like they're besties and
Yeah,
yeah. There's like always one side of the coin. So you're either
who
team
can say?
Gito or you're team Gojo. But in the end, no matter which team you are, you like each other. Like there's
Yeah.
always like everybody has the Gito to the Gojo to the Gito. So it's fine. You can be the Gito to my Gojo. I'll allow it.
Good. Also, I have to say the girls. All the girls are pretty cool. Like the
Who's your
fighting
favorite?
styles. Kugisaki is so cool. Is it Kugi?
Hmm.
Is her name Kugisaki?
So
She's
the
so
one
cool
with the
with the doll,
glasses? Oh,
straw
yeah,
doll
the
technique.
witch.
Insane.
Mm.
Then I forgot her name again with the glasses. The bow staff
With the
lady. She's
staff. Yeah.
insane with the dark green hair. Yeah, with the ponytail. Such cool. Like all the ladies are so cool. Like and Toto. Oh my god, I
Besto
just love
friendo.
Toto Besto Fredo. The moment when he started crying because Yuji just said the right thing and he saw his whole life with him together in front of his eyes. It's amazing. I still tell Mux, like I keep telling Mux, you need to start watching Jujutsu Kaisen because you're gonna love it. But he still didn't start. And I was
Mm.
even offering to start again with him because I really
Mhm.
like it. And I want to go through it with him together.
Mhm.
So let's see. January gonna be our couple month or dedicated to us because we barely have time in December for us, right?
Mhm.
For each other. So I'm gonna like force him to watch Jujutsu Kaisen with me in
Beste
January.
Friendo. And Todo is
Besto friend.
so
I
fucking
love him.
funny, dude.
But no,
What
no.
kind of women?
Yeah.
What kind of women are you
Yeah.
into?
Oh, this is so good. I love it. I love it.
uh, you're
He's
gonna
so
even
cool.
love him more in the second season.
Nice. So yeah, that's the update about JJK and Fake Label, guys. Cool guys. We're gonna
Mhm.
link them in the description. Check them
Yeah, if you
out.
want to check
Instagram
out the merch,
and
they have
stuff.
not only Jujutsu Kaisen, they have Death Note inspired stuff. They have One Piece.
One
They have Dragon
Piece.
Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo Ghoul. What else? And they also have some with just really cool lettering. So it's basically from what I understand so far, like I'm not super deep in the stuff yet, but it is two main artists that do it. It is David that does the anime designs. And then there's the second guy, I sadly forgot his name. He does the insanely sick lettering. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the designs, like this one is from David alone, I think. And most of the designs are like a mix between the two arts. So there's always like this really specific lettering together with an anime or manga inspired
Yeah.
element. So if you are a weep and you are searching for really cool looking weep merch, this is where you gotta go to check them out. They have such cool things. The quality of the product is really, really good. For the t-shirts especially, um, they remind me, please correct me if I'm wrong because I'm like a boomer when it comes to that kind of stuff. But they have like this really thick t-shirt material, like it's almost like those hip hop t-shirts, that have like
Street
shorts,
style.
yeah, street style t-shirts. So they're just a
Yeah.
little bit longer and heavier and thick.
Yeah.
They have really, really good quality. Um,
Yeah.
and the print as well of the merch is so fucking good. So it's nothing that you like wash once and then afterwards you're like after two times washing you're like, oh well, now the print like looks weird or anything. Like
Yeah.
really high quality, everything made in Austria. So if you want to support some really cool artists and some really cool people that make everything by hand, ship it out. Like it's a small group of people that do everything. They're all super super nice. So yeah, we're gonna link them down below. Again, Fake Label. You can find them on Instagram. You can find their own website, and they also have their own tattoo studio. So if you like their style, you can also get tattooed by them. It's called Fake Tattoo Studio, I think it's called,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, make sure to check them out. We're gonna leave all the links down below, and you will most likely see us wear this stuff more often in the future.
Yeah. Also, I gotta add just the color vibrance
Oh yeah,
is insane of everything. Back, front,
yeah. Wait, I
vibrancy
have my
is
other
insane.
shirt.
I have a Sorrow shirt, guys. Obviously, I bought that at Vienna Comic Con. It's so cool. I love it. I don't have it here. I can't show you right now, but Julio, gonna show you the other one.
Yeah, like I have the T-shirt of it as well, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like as Steffi says, like
Yeah.
just the color vibrance of like the pink, like the eyes are literally like
Everything's so
glowing. The
pretty.
nuances,
Yeah.
like the quality of the print is just so 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 good. I don't
Yeah.
think I ever got any um merch or like anime inspired um clothing in that kind of quality. So I'm super super happy with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Steffi, what else is new? Tell us.
What else is new? I'm working on more Fehu content for us. Obviously, like preparing everything for Instagram and the socials and the shop. We are in how to say in the process of soon printing stuff. I'd say so. We gotta keep you updated about that. You can, if you wanna, or if you're interested, you can also already follow us for content soon on Instagram. It's just Mark of Fehu, everything written together.
Yeah, we're also gonna link it under this episode. So if you want to follow it, even if there's no content online yet for the website, if you just want to keep updated, follow it, put on the notifications so you're going to be one of the first to see when we start posting our content. We're going to
Mm,
plan on not only posting content about the products that we make, we also want to post a little bit like memes around the books, which
yeah.
I'm already working on a little bit if I want to spoil it a little bit. So I'm going to take that kind of part because obviously I'm the chain reader, the full hyper
Mm-hmm.
focused ADHD book. Like Frau Tralafitti says, book mouse.
Book mouse.
Eine Bookmaus, ja. Eine Buchmaus bin ich.
Like, I'm at this point where I feel very embarrassed because I really, I
Oh, yeah, I
wanted,
wanted to ask.
listen, I wanted on Friday, I was like, okay, when I come home from dancing, I'm gonna read Saturday. I have the whole Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna read to tell Julia that I'm done with fucking Iron Flame by Monday for our podcast episode. What happened? I didn't read a single page because I'm doing so many other things.
Okay, listen,
And
Steffi's gonna, once she's done with Iron Flame some point next year, she's gonna make
yeah,
just like a short video, if it's 2 minutes, like, guys, I finished Iron Flame. These are my thoughts just for you.
yeah.
We need that.
It's super embarrassing at this point, guys. I'm not apologizing for it, but I'm just embarrassed. So yeah, let's see when I'm finished. Maybe before New Year. Maybe this is something I want to keep in the old year with the book. So let's see.
I believe in you.
Um, yeah, I don't. At least you do. Beside that, I started playing Apex again a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. I'm waiting for the yearly winter train mode, which is still not out.
Mm-hmm.
Ben and I enjoy that every year. It's a lot of fun. It's basically just you're on the train with three other teams and you fight on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And on the train stations or at the train stations, it's just a fun mode and it's still not here. Don't know
Aw.
why. Christmas is soon. Whatever. They can't be bothered apparently. Uh, what else? I still don't have all of my Christmas gifts. And it's the 18th today. Still need a
Mm-hmm.
few things. There's one part in this shelf where I put all the gifts I have already, which I also bought mid this year. So my sister's boyfriend gets a t-shirt from Mux and me. We saw that in summer when we went shopping and I thought of him. So I was like, okay, I'm
Nice.
gonna keep that t-shirt. My main problem with these things is
It's
when I
not
buy
giving it
things early,
for,
yeah, when I buy things early, I'm always so excited. So I give them presents before the actual day. So I still have to buy presents for that day then. But this year, I managed to keep all the things because I put them in the shelf and then I kind of forgot about them. So
yeah.
good thing that I'm a goldfish sometimes. Hi,
So
Yuna.
proud of you. Hi, Uni. Uni is joining for the last episode as well.
Yeah. And we watched Sweet Home season 2. Fucking weird.
What's
I
that
don't
about?
know. It's basically an apocalyptic scenario. The
Is that the
first
Korean
season is
thing?
mhm,
Oh yeah, okay, then I know. Yeah, yeah.
where
You talked
people
about
turn
it, I
into
think.
monsters. Yeah.
Mm.
And the second season is just so fucking weird and all over the place and just so confusing and no like concept kinda.
Mm-hmm.
But they already announced season 3, so must have been successful in some countries. I don't know.
Okay, okay. I
Uh,
mean, that's the thing. Like the Korean style show is like super specific, right?
Yeah,
Like
but that's what I always liked about it. This one is just
weird.
explosions and it's just, it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, apparently they liked it. Season 3 coming next year already. So maybe they just split it, maybe they filmed everything.
Mm.
It's not a cliffhanger in the end, but maybe they decided to like
Okay.
make 3 seasons anyways
Oh,
and
you
then
finished it already, the second season?
we finished the second season.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
only 8 episodes, like each an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. You might want to skip through it if you want, if you watch it, guys. If you have watched Sweet Home season 1, it's, as Julia said, it's a very specific. Korean stuff is very different compared to our shows and what we're used to. No matter if it's normal shows, fantasy, gore, or even dating stuff, is so different. That's why I
Mm.
like it a lot. But this one was just, I don't know what to think about this. It was just weird. But I think that's about it from my side. What
Mhm.
about you, Julia?
What's new for me? I'm not sure if I talked about it 2 weeks ago. I think I might have not talked about it yet because it was not 100% everything yet. I
Mhm.
had a huge placement last week, or no, it was actually in the week that we recorded the podcast, so I might have talked about it. I have my second placement this week with McDonald's, so
Nice.
which is actually really crazy that I get to work with such a huge company.
Mhm.
So I have my second stream for McDonald's on Wednesday, and we had a little cooperation for almost whole of December till Christmas. So I'm like super super excited to do that again, and
Mhm.
I was so happy with the interaction as well towards the content with my community, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
right? Because everybody, I
Mhm.
was like, how are they gonna react? You know, like it's such a big thing. Are they gonna like troll? Are they gonna like it? And everything
Mhm.
just felt super like supernatural the way it happened, and everybody was super interactive and so on and so on. So it
Nice.
was a really nice experience, and I'm excited for the second stream. Then I started playing World of Warcraft again.
Mhm.
You said for the Christmas presents, I only have the Christmas presents for Nathan, which technically is the most important one. But right after the podcast recording, we're actually going to the city with Nathan, and we're
Mhm.
gonna go Christmas shopping and hopefully find everything that we need for the people. It's also not even sure if Nathan is gonna be in France or in Germany or in Austria for Christmas. He's gonna decide spontaneously. He's also super addicted to World of Warcraft. Like really, really, like he already has a guild, and he is like rating the highest level that you can, basically, like beside of
Yeah.
playing professionally and being paid. But yeah, it's actually really funny how he just snapped into playing WoW. So he's just enjoying his time while he's being he's benched right now, so he's not actively playing in a team. So he's just
Mhm.
enjoying World of Warcraft and playing that.
Mhm.
Then I had a really funny moment which I talked about a lot on stream, and I think my two friends that I were with cannot really relate to why it was such a weird experience to me, but I'm gonna share it here anyway in hopes that I don't piss them
Mhm.
off that I still talk about it. Um,
Mhm.
but basically, we went to a spa last week on Monday
Yeah.
to celebrate the birthday of one of my friends. We gifted her a spa day.
Uh-huh.
Did I talk about that? No, because it was last week,
No.
right? No, it was not.
Mhm.
Okay, so
We just texted a little bit, but you didn't tell me any
oh,
like
you don't
story
know that
things.
there? Okay, yeah,
No, no,
it
no.
was really weird. So anyway, a spa, right? If I go to spa, I've
Yeah.
been to spas before. I've been to Termen, whatever. So for me, going to spa, it's normal. You wear a bikini, you run around in a robe, you like lie on your bikini on a towel. It's fine. And obviously, there's areas where there's like a sauna. In the saunas, you're naked, and there's like
Yeah.
like rooms next to a sauna, like the silent places where you can also be naked and be there
Mhm.
bare and
Just
you know,
relax. Yeah.
yeah, a relaxing zone where you can be naked. But for me, the
Mhm.
way I know it, it's always like a separate uh room, or like it's a separate area where you know once you go in there, that's where there's gonna be naked people.
Mhm.
So, and for me, um, I'm not a person that is comfortable about being around a lot of strangers that are naked. So for me,
Mhm.
going to a sauna is fine. Like I go in there for 15 minutes, and I know within this window of time, I'm gonna be surrounded by those naked people. It's like nothing sexual or anything, so it's not bad. But I can mentally prepare for that time frame, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So anyway, we booked the spa day, and again, that's one of my experiences that I had in spas before. And a friend of mine was like, "Oh yeah, she's going to the spa regularly with her friend and with her boyfriend, and she really likes it, and she's gonna book it there." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." She sent me the link. It looked really
Uh-oh.
cool. It didn't say
Yeah.
anything online about it being a nude spa. Nothing. Like I saw
Yeah.
everything. Like it apparently says outside of the building, but it doesn't say on the website. So I'm a little bit weirded out because if you are like on holidays and you're like, oh, spa near, and then you go there and all of a sudden, anyway, TLDR, it was a nude spa. So people are going everywhere naked beside of the restaurant, by the way. So
Yeah.
there's just naked people in the hallways, in the lying around, in the pools outside. Like you're just swimming in a dick soup, basically. at all times. Also, we were at the Mikstetter Badehaus is where we went, in case you're wondering. So it's like also an hour away. And so we went in there. I
Interesting.
was running around in my bikini, so I was fine. But for me, just because I was not prepared for that. For my other two friends, it was normal. They say like when they go to spas they go to spas like this. So and for
Yeah.
them, it's just a completely normal thing, and they cannot understand why it's something so anxiety introducing for me to be there. Luckily, we like booked like a private area for her
Mhm.
birthday, so we can like fully relax where nobody else can go. So that was fine for me, but I was basically just sitting in this room reading my book almost most of the time, and I just went into, and there was also the lake. So we went ice bathing in the lake first,
Oh,
then we went into
nice.
the hot pool. So that was really, really nice. And it is really nice. The food was good. Everything was nice. For me, it was just because I didn't expect it. I was so overwhelmed, and then like I had a
Mhm.
huge anxiety attack because basically we stayed there for 10 hours,
Mhm.
and there was just naked people around me at all times. And
Yeah.
it was just a lot for me. Like I could
The Greek way. Mhm.
yeah. And again, yeah, there was just a little bit lot, but I learned my lesson. So I know that
Mhm.
from now on, if somebody asks me to go to a spa, I'm gonna ask if it's a nude spa or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned that is definitely nothing for me. Yeah. Then, what else is new? A friend of us, Frau Tralafitti, started a
Yeah.
new blog together with two friends, which is called Nerdimpuls, which is really, really cool. So if you are into, there are three people. They write about three things. They write about gaming,
Mhm.
they write about Twitch, and they write about K-pop.
Oh,
So
damn.
it's a really, really cool combination. It's three different people that write the blog posts. So if you're interested, we're gonna link that as well. It's super funny. She wrote me yesterday. She was like, "Yo, girl, did we just start, like, all of us? Did we just start a new business each without actually knowing that we did, and kind of launched it at the same time?" So it was kind of funny that I talk about it. So or that we talked about it yesterday. So I just wanted to share. So if you're
Yeah.
into that kind of stuff, please check out Frau Tralafitti's new blog together with her two friends. Again, it's called Nerd Impulse. Really, really cool.
I'm
Sorry.
following.
And then, what else? Show wise, Nathan and me are watching Shadow and Bone. We're the
Mhm.
last season. We have one episode left. So the
Mhm.
final, we're gonna watch it today. Um, I did you watch it, Steffi? Shadow and Bone?
Nah, I watched the first episode and then
It was boring.
I didn't really like the setting.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I get it. It's really specific. And I have to say it was decent, but I understand why there's no third season, I think. There's like a lot of
Okay.
it feels like there's a lot of plot holes where like
Yeah.
I don't know, somebody gets kidnapped and then like in the next scene he just shows up and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just escaped." It's like,
Mm.
how did
Okay.
you do that? It's like things like this happening over and over again, but the thing is like I heard that the books are really good.
I was
Some
about to ask, is there books or anything, or is
Yes.
it just a
So there's like a trilogy of Shadow and Bone that I made
Mhm.
into a show, I think. I didn't read
Mhm.
them, it's just I think. And then there's like the Six of Crows, I think they're called, or the
Mhm.
crow people, those are the assassins. And there's three books about the assassins.
Mhm.
And I think there's also an epilogue or a prequel, which is also two books or something like that. So there's a lot of books about that. So for
Okay.
me, as somebody that only watched the show, while I like the setting, I had to. It took me a bit to get into it as well because in the beginning I was a bit with like war and like this Russian kind of stuff. I was like, kind of weird. But after like 2.5 episodes, it's actually pretty good. I'm just annoyed
Okay.
by plot holes.
Mhm.
But again, I'm not sure if it is like obviously if you try to cramp a book into a show that is like I think 8 episodes per season, you cannot show everything, right? So I'm wondering, is it because they left things out in order to fit
Mhm.
it into a short season, or is it because the books actually had plot holes? That's the one thing I'm a little bit interested in, and I'm not sure what
Mhm.
I'm gonna do because obviously they canceled the show, so there's no third season. Um,
Okay.
so now I'm like, but I do want to know how it ends, right? So
Mm.
do I read like the last book that I'm missing? to read like the whole series. I'm not really sure yet, but I don't know if I want to go through all of that again, to be honest. Um, yeah, and then beside of that, Steffi and me, again to mark of Fehu, Steffi is working
Mhm.
on all the bookmarks. Meanwhile, I'm working on something else. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're not only gonna sell bookmarks, we're also gonna sell accessories. So one of the ideas that I had, for example, is that when you have a bookmark with like a tassel on it, between the tassel and the bookmark, there's always like some cord, right? And I was thinking about like, oh yeah, we could put like the name of the favorite character for the bookmark that matches like on this cord. So for example, we have I don't know, fourth wing bookmark, and then we would write Xaden on the on the string between the tassel and the bookmark to make it like extra cute. So I had this kind of idea, and then I was like, you know what? What I think would also be really cool to get like your favorite characters like bracelets. So I made like kind of like, probably some of you are Taylor Swift fans, right? Like Taylor Swift fans make those arm candies, or like those bracelets
Mhm.
that they exchange at the concerts. So what I'm making is basically, or what we are making is basically bracelets with our favorite book characters that you can wear. So they're gonna be fully elastic. You don't have to be afraid that they're not gonna fit you. And we're gonna make them with your favorite characters. For example, I'm
Mhm.
wearing one with Reese from Akatar. I made like I'm gonna show you a few that I made so far. You're gonna be able to get them all. We have Rowan here. I have, for example, one that says Beskaeth, so it's the word college for fourth wing. I got a violet one. We got a Xaden one. I made for fun a Gocha and Gita one, which is basically
Mm.
an
This
anime
one,
one. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to have
You want
one
this
of
one?
these too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So you're gonna wear
that is
one. I'm
so
gonna wear
cute.
one. Is that our friendship bracelet?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's a
Okay,
cute
good.
idea.
Then I
I
made.
like it with the two colors as well, though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
the
That's
black
what
and
I.
the white and the hearts. It's so cool.
That's like the, you're gonna see,
Mhm.
once you're gonna see in the second season why it is like this. You're gonna even
Yeah.
love it more. Um. So yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm so sorry. Um. I'm
No
so
big
bad.
deal.
Listen, I'm fucking such a spoiler queen. I'm so bad with that.
You are.
Then I have like a alien one that also says Fireheart. I made an Andarna one, a golden one.
Mhm.
I made a black one for Terran. Um, Xaden one, obviously, in Sigale blue. What else do we have? And Azrael Shadow Singer. And then I made some really basic ones if you don't have a favorite character or something like that. There was Steffi's idea. We're gonna just make some of those. I have one that says Smut Club, and the other one says Smut Slut.
Did you
So
see? I mean, that meme, I don't know how old it is, but it popped up on my Instagram and everywhere. Like the engagement ring, and then she has the cum slut
yeah,
candy
yeah, exactly.
bracelet.
You need to
Yeah.
be. I
Yeah.
saw this one. Sazo asked me if I can make him a cum slut bracelet.
Yeah, let's do that for
I'm
him.
gonna make that, and then we're gonna make like keychains as well. So let's say you're
Mm-hmm.
not a fan of wearing bracelets, you can have a keychain. Or I was thinking that we can even make like longer ones and use that as a bookmark, um,
Yeah.
to put
Yeah.
those in. We're gonna offer custom ones, but we're also gonna make like pre-made ones so you can just choose your favorite character. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been making bracelets, and I have been reading. So yeah, I think the last update from me, and then we can go into our derps of the week, is what I
Mm-hmm.
read in the last 2 weeks. And I was just checking which books I showed you in like the last episode, and then I checked like what did I read till then, and
Insane.
I got a little bit surprised about how much I read in 2 weeks. So yeah, short update. I'm gonna make it TLDR. Last episode, I was halfway through in Crown of Midnight, which is the second book in the series. I'm gonna be honest, I got super frustrated. I hated it. There's a trope in it that I absolutely hate. So
Mm-hmm.
this was boring and I hated it. Um, then I started with the third book, which is Air of Fire. And if you can maybe tell about how much I'm tagging, I absolutely love this book. This is when I started loving Throne of Glass, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's characters introduced and like a new dynamic where I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Now that I read the first two books of Throne of Glass, I understand why you have to read them, because basically it is world building and it establishes the relationship between certain characters, why you like them, why
Mm,
you hate them. And without having read those two first books, you wouldn't be able to love it as much if you would
yeah.
have started with this one. So it makes sense that you have to go through this. So believe me, go through the first two books. It, some people love it. Like I'm saying I'm just a hater. It's just not my cup of tea. But get through it and you will love it as soon as you start this. Um, really really good book. I blasted through this super super fast. Love the new characters that are introduced. um then after this, because so there's a reading order in this, so this is book 2 and 3, and there's technically a prequel which dates even before the first book, which is called Assassin's
Mhm.
Blade, um which sets everything before the story. I'm gonna be honest, it's a pretty boring read. Most of the things are pretty useless to know. Like, so basically it's the author wrote, I think, 4 novellas, so it's like 4 short stories bound to one
Mhm.
book, that basically just explains for later on where people come from, like how did she got to know this person out of the book. So
Mhm.
I think it's a good point to read it after Air of Fire. Now to start the next book, because it just establishes how you need to feel towards a certain character and to have a certain backstory, how everything happened. So that again, boring read, but I would say necessary to have certain feelings towards certain characters. So I read
Mhm.
this one. Luckily blasted through this as well. That was a hate read because it was just so boring, and I was like, fuck, I just read a good book. I want to go back to the good storyline, so I blasted through this. And now I'm reading this one, which is Queen of Shadows. I'm like a third, roughly, or almost halfway through it. And I have to say, this is where it starts getting really, really good. Like,
Okay.
oh, I love it. I think this is my favorite book so far
Okay.
in the series, and I love it. And I'm like, I posted it today on Instagram already. It is like, I think I'm turning into a Throne of Glass girly. Like, I
Mhm.
understand, like the way the character or the characters develop in the book, and like all the relationships and everything, and how badass
Mhm.
everybody is. It is so good. And Steffi, I'm just saying, this has zero smut in it, but I think you would love it because she's like an assassin, right? So she's like,
Yeah, I'm not like I like fantasy stories.
yeah, this
I
is
don't need
fantasy. This is
I don't
fantasy
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I mean. I don't need smut all
Smut,
the
yeah.
time as long as the story is cool.
But
So,
I
I'm
think
definitely
you would really
planning on
love
reading it
this. Like
in
compared
2020,
to
30,
exactly,
20,
like
thirty.
till she's gonna die at one point, she's gonna read this. But Assassin's Blade, or Throne of Glass in
Mhm.
general, it's a story about the best assassin in a kingdom,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and her way of going from slavery to becoming something completely different, mixed in
Mhm.
with like magic and like a really cool fantasy world, and her
Mhm.
being a complete badass. In the beginning, I hate her. I hate her for the first 2 books. She's an annoying cunt, but now I like her. So I
Okay.
think you would really enjoy this. But yeah, it takes a while to get good. So this is my book update. This is what I read, and I hope that before, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish Throne of Glass till end of the year, but I hope that I'm gonna get through it fast, because again,
Mhm.
end of January, Crescent City is coming out. So I have
Yeah.
oh my, no, okay, no, I'm never gonna finish this. I have 3.5 more books left that are like 800 pages each, and then I have 2 more books of Crescent City that are also 800 pages. So
I
there's
mean,
no way
to
I
be
can read it.
fair, you read 4 books in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you have to think about, like, whoops, those are pretty thin. Like those
Yeah, but
are
how many
thinner.
pages?
Like those were like 430, and this one is already
600.
650, and the other ones are like 800, roughly.
You're gonna get there.
Three
I know you
800
will.
pages, and then the other one is the other two Crescent City books are also 800 pages. So I'm gonna have to fucking gonna go fast. I'm not sure if
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it to the release of Crescent City 3, but I'm trying. But I also because I really want to like live through the hype. I really enjoyed being there to read Iron Flame with everybody at the same time to like realize the things, not having to be afraid to dodge like memes, but being able to interact with the memes as well. So it's kind of FOMO that's hitting me, like fear of missing out. Um, but also I really want to enjoy this read. Like this is so good. This is getting me so emotional. I already cried like a little baby.
Is the
Once.
Crescent City now the book series that merges all the worlds, or is that the
Yes.
third series and then it will merge?
So so basically the thing is like in each of the show so I read Akatar first, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
that I read Akatar, I can see
Yeah.
that there are things from Throne of Glass
Yeah.
sprinkled into Akatar. But if you read it, how should you know, right? And now for me, it's like because I know Akatar and I read like
Mm.
Throne of Glass, I'm like, wait, are they related? Like, wait, is
Mm.
that character like a sister or a brother from a character of Akatar? But they live
Mm-hmm.
like in different worlds. Like how does that work? And
Okay.
there's like a thing in the books which is there's like portals between like the demon like different realms, like demons and death and stuff is like going back and forth basically. So I don't know anything yet, but what I'm guessing is that there's like portals between different universes, and there's people probably slipping between them and they're mixing into the other world. So let's say my guess at least is that there's like a character from Akatar, like a sister or brother from somebody that went through a portal and then lived in the world of Throne of Glass and had children with somebody there, and you then notice that they're connect somehow. And
Mm-hmm.
then so Akatar is like a full Fae slash human world. um Throne of Glass is like a world where magic is banned, but there were Faes before as well, but those have been removed from the world
Mm-hmm.
basically because they're like evil or whatever. um and then Crescent City, those are those two books that I want to read in January. So this is playing in the real world, I think. So in the now time.
Okay.
But I think from what I heard, there's magic somehow. Like there are also, I think, Fae somehow in the modern world. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. So
Mm-hmm.
and I think in this book there's already characters from the other books that show up.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay.
I
Okay.
think in
Okay.
this book is the first one where there's actually somebody um that's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm from this other book. Let me help you."
Mm-hmm.
Something like this. I
Okay.
think is what
Okay.
I heard. I don't know. I got a little bit spoiled. But so yeah, this is the first one. So and there's also a meme that the third book of Crescent City is basically the new book for another series. Like either
Okay.
Throne of Glass or Akatar.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like the secret, and it's there's like the meme of like, oh, the Akatar girlies don't want to read Crescent City because it's in the modern world, but little do they know the third Crescent City book is actually a new Akatar book. Like
Okay. Okay.
that's like the
Mm-hmm.
meme. We don't know because it's obviously not released. But yeah, so I have to read those two and four more books before end of January. I have no idea how I should
Doable.
do it. But yeah, those books are so pretty. Like I love, love, love
Yeah.
the covers. They're so fucking pretty. And like also
Yeah.
the prints on the inside. Like I don't know who did this,
Yeah.
but
Very
it's
cool.
so fucking pretty. Like I think it's
Yeah.
my favorite book art that I've seen so far. But yeah, anyway, sorry for you know, ranting a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
gotta
We
jump
gotta
into
move. We
all
gotta
the
move. I'm
derps
so
and burp
sorry.
stuff.
I'm so sorry. Let's start with the derp of the week, guys.
Derps of the
Derps
week
of the week.
this
We have
week,
multiple.
guys.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was nice comments, so I thought why not read out a few
Mm-hmm.
of the latest episode or the one before this, episode 98, where the title is "We Gotta Talk," and where we announced that we stopped with the podcast. And basically, quite like some people commented under it because they're sad that we stopped. So I wanted to read that out. First of all, waifu Mika, so sad this chapter is ending, but I'm really excited for your future project. Also, I love the only reading stream idea. And yes, love triangle trope is the worst. Hate it.
Yep.
Yeah, it is annoying. We agree, Mika.
I hate it.
Next one. Hate it.
Hate it.
Laoshi.
Oh, wait, bad.
Why is my face so bright now?
I don't know.
Um
Doesn't look like it. It looks normal for me.
Laura. Kind of sad that this podcast era is ending, but also super excited for Marco Fehu. I will definitely buy 1 or 5 bookmarks. Thank you for all the content you shared with us. For the past 2 years, you always made my Mondays a little bit brighter. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Laura.
Laoshi.
Appreciate that. Sally. Sally says, such news on the first day of my period. Be right back crying under the shower. She even texted me in
Oh
private, and I
no.
felt
Oh
so like I
no.
was so sad and felt with her. But she says, but I'm still looking forward to the last episode with all the shared moments. It's gonna be a wholesome and heartwarming episode. With you both, wish you both the best in the future for your new projects. Consensuous kisses.
Aw.
That's what Sally said.
Aw.
Then we have Kirsten. Kirsten says, obviously very sad that the podcast is going to end because it's been a big part of my routine for the past 2 years, really. On the other hand, though, I'm very excited to see this new project come to life and see what you're up to with it. But I do think you should keep the space open for special episodes, maybe do a catch up every now and then to stay connected and make use of the community that's already here. Love you too. Love to you and your new project. Thanks.
Aw. Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Kerstin.
Justin. Lots of love back.
Also, Gestu, G5STU, Gestu.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, it's not an E5. It's not an E5. It's usually an S. I don't know. I just found you two, and you both seem like the nicest, most decent, and honest young ladies on YouTube. Well done on being awesome. Never give up.
Oh,
Very nice. Appreciate that. Thank you.
you have 93 episodes to catch up to.
Yes, you have a lot to listen to. And now, guys,
Thank
the
you.
king,
The king
the
of the derps.
finally fallen AK Mark. I'm very sad that the podcast is going to end, but I totally understand the decision behind that, though I will definitely miss hearing you two, since most of the time I do not have time to join a stream when you're streaming. I wish you both the best of luck with more Fehu. I'll keep my Patreon activated for sure, though I don't remember the last time I read a physical book, so sadly won't join as a buyer. Haha. Don't worry. Looking forward to the last episode. A shame you didn't make it to 100. True, though, you were so close. Yeah, we were
A lot
actually.
of people write that. But hey, maybe we fill the 100 up with our like
Yeah,
spares episodes here and there.
yeah. And thank you for so much amazing content. Thank you, Mark. So cute.
Aw, thank you, Mark.
Thank you guys for all the cute comments. We appreciate you.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so those were the derps. Those were the news. Sorry for a long part. We just don't want to let you go. That's all. So this is gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
of a longer episode, but I think you're gonna appreciate it anyway. Let's talk about our thoughts about derps and burps. Let's talk like answer all the questions that I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast. So let's start with our favorite episode. Steffi, what is your favorite episode?
Let me throw in something first
Mm-hmm.
because did you know our first episode, like the first episode we uploaded was on January 24th? That was the
Yeah.
very first we uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
And the last episode today, guys, dates the 18th of November 2023. Just so you know. Julia gonna do the questions thing, and I'm gonna throw in some stats I wrote down for me and Julia.
Mm-hmm.
And we just mix it up. I'll just throw it in whenever something's like matching or fitting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
favorite episode you said?
Yeah.
Tough one. I really liked our like spiritual talks a lot, which we had more in the beginning, kinda.
Yeah.
Um, but let me see. What do we have? My favorite, like in general, when I looked scrolled through it yesterday, was still Smasher Pass One Piece edition. That was my favorite.
Uh,
Yeah. What
for
about you?
for me, like I also really like the spiritual talks that we have, but I think it's like a really specific target audience and something that Steffi and me have a lot in private, where we talk a lot about
Yeah.
like everything spirituality, things happen for a reason, the universe, that kind of stuff. So I personally really like listening to other people talk about that kind of stuff. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
also liked our episodes. As Steffi said, um, that is like a really niche thing. So technically, the spiritual awakening one is like one of our first episodes, episode 19. I enjoyed this one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I also really enjoyed our um relationship and sex talk episodes, weirdly. Like our like
Yeah.
Dr. Summer kind of things. So
Yeah.
we had like this one called Do Sex Toys Destroy Relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one was also a really popular episode. And I just really like to openly share and talk about stuff like that. So I would say like it's like a blade with two sides. So it's like the
Mm-hmm.
spiritual awakening one and like the sex talk episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed those. Then we have
Okay.
the hard question, Steffi, your favorite guest on a
My
podcast.
favorite guest.
We obviously love all of them. Okay, this is a mean
Yes.
thing. This is like
Speaking of
asking
that,
who is your favorite favorite
that's a
like.
trap.
Mhm.
First of all. Second of all, in total, we had 7 guests, which were
Mhm.
Karina,
Mhm.
Kayla, Sazu,
Mhm.
Elle,
Mhm.
Drew,
Mhm.
Laura, and Fudge was
True,
in
true. Yeah.
review.
Yeah.
So, and I'd say my favorite was Karina.
Same.
Not to speak for her, but she's a queen. And I really enjoyed everything. I enjoyed all the podcast episodes, like with our guests, but Karina is has become my little star.
Same. Do you know what I enjoy the most about Karina? Which
But
I wanna take a little bit also for myself and also kind of put in this thing that I learned from the podcast is one thing that I learned from her. Karina was the only and first person and
mm-hmm,
still is, I think, to a degree, that tells you no. Like
mm,
while we had a conversation or like I asked her something, she's like so unapologetically herself.
mm,
Like
yeah,
I don't remember the exact context, but I remember I asked her a question and she would correct the way I asked the question. She would be like, "Oh no, that wasn't at all the way that I saw it, or you seeing it the wrong way."
mm-hmm,
And like, but not in a way that makes you feel um bad about it. Like it's just like she's just,
just to push you up.
yeah, she's just
Yeah,
telling you like straight to the point how it is. And like
yeah,
but she's like how Steffi and me is like one of our favorite words as well from her dad, wertfrei, right? So she's
yeah,
telling
yeah,
you a fact or she's correcting you in something that you say without meaning it in a condescending way. Like usually
yeah,
when somebody tells you that you're wrong about something or corrects you in a way or in a space, it can often feel like somebody is like putting you down, if that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. And the way she does it, it feels like completely neutral. It's like nothing that, so that is something that I really really enjoyed, like her pure honesty and obviously her wisdom and knowledge
yeah,
in
yeah,
all of the topics that we talked about. So for me, Karina, like I loved all of them, but Karina was, I think, the one where I felt like I could learn the most from, right? And
yeah, yeah.
she's also a really big reader, by the way. She just read through Akatar and Throne of Glass as well, and she's reading
Oh,
Crescent City now. Yeah, I
damn.
think. So I
Nice.
got her, I got her hooked in that as well. So my favorite one would be Karina as well because of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, Steffi. If there's an episode you would like to redo, which one would it be?
Honestly, probably the first one.
The first one?
You know why?
What?
Because mm, I was not being 100% me. You know, when you start this new thing or you get into a new group, you just analyze first, okay, how fucked up can I be? How sarcastic sarcastic can I be? How dark can I be with my humor?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I don't give a fuck about that anymore because if people find that weird or don't like me, they
Offensive or
don't
something.
like me,
Yeah.
right? But you still just like analyze the group first or the setting you're in. And it was the same for me with the podcast. So like, yeah, hi, I'm Stefie, blah blah blah. Bitch, just be yourself. You know what I mean? So I do the first one.
But it's also really nice to kind of like go back to that episode and see how you matured within like
Yeah, just see the
that
progress,
small
yeah.
time. Like you
And
went
how I
from
got
like,
comfortable with it.
yeah, also
It's like,
how much more you talk. Like in the beginning, you were like really like
yeah,
reserved and like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. So I think it's on the other hand, like I know it's cringe to look at those kind of things and you wish like, oh my god, I wish I would have known this. But I feel like it's also that's also again something what we can put into like the things like what we learned through the podcast.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can see through this how you grew as a person, like not
yeah.
necessarily only as somebody that creates or does podcasts, but also as your personality. Like you are more unapologetically yourself. Like obviously there's some restrictions for most
Mm,
people and me included, um for things that you can say in a public setting like this. There's just some things where you will always have a certain filter on. A few people obviously don't have that, but for me personally, I think I would say like 95% I am myself, but there's just this 5% that you just can't say. You just can't do it publicly.
mm.
But I think when it comes to that, we matured a lot. I think our podcast
Yeah,
also in quality from like our weird
yeah,
overlay that we had first, like with the
yeah.
small cameras and stuff. Like if I look at this, I'm like, oh no, why did we do that?
Yeah,
Um,
but you need to think like we planned on like having chat and everything on it. Do
yeah,
you
true.
remember?
Yeah, we wanted to do
It
like a
it was a
live
complete
podcast
different
first.
plan. Yeah,
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 yeah. But so that was also a plan that we had first with Derps and Burps that we wanted to have a live podcast every week where you
yeah,
then on YouTube would be able to see the chat interaction. So maybe we can do that like I don't know every few months like a live Derps
yeah.
and Burps
Basically just a
stream or
stream.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Of catching up and then upload that on YouTube would be a cool thing as well to do.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that would be the one for me to redo. I have to say I would like to redo most of the guest episodes from my point of view
Mhm,
because I feel like from my knowledge that I have now, I would be way better in asking better questions. Like I feel like the
mhm,
questions that I prepared for some of the guests were like really simple. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like it was really like shallow. Like I would have liked to be a little bit more insightful and better
mhm,
in asking better questions. That's the things
mhm.
that because I feel like people, for example, like Karina, like I think she was our first guest, right? Is that I think so?
Yeah.
I think she was our first podcast guest. So for me having such a good guest in the first episode where kind of so I had like this interviewer role kind of, right? I would say
Mhm,
like to lead the episode. Um and I felt like having her as a guest um I failed her in the level of interviewer I was in comparison on how good of a guest she was. If that makes
mhm,
sense. Like she
mhm,
almost took a lead while I should have been the person to be leading the conversation or at least do it on like a equal level, right?
mhm,
So that kind of like showed me first that I prepare better for the next episode, which I did as well, but like I still feel like I could have done so much more. So
mhm,
if I would ever have anything with a guest again, I would like to do like better research and ask better questions.
mhm.
That
Okay.
would be mine. Yeah. Want to go with a stat or do you want me for the next one?
I'll just throw it in whenever it's
It's
fitting.
fitting. Okay. Favorite format. What was your favorite format that we had on a podcast? So like smash or pass or answering questions or Reddit stories that we read, Q&As that we did on Instagram. Like what or gaming related ones, relationship episodes. What was it that was your favorite format?
Probably Smash or Pass, honestly. Because we had a lot of cool Smasher Pass episodes, not gonna
And
lie.
and we always had fun doing them.
Yes. And with all the stories and the things and the thoughts and everything, so
Different opinions as
I'd
well.
say yes, I'd say Smasher Pass.
Same. I think
It's
as
obvious kinda.
basic and simple those are, I think they were just so funny.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and
Yeah, they're just
especially because
no-brainers.
yeah, exactly. Especially because we have such different opinions. And which one
Yeah.
was your favorite Smasher Pass? Yours was the One Piece one, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was a One Piece one.
Yeah, for me it was the Baldur's Gate one. I think. Even though
Mhm.
it was so obvious. Also the OnlyFans one. Like the one where we did
Oh yeah.
the OnlyFans one was also pretty good. But
Yeah.
I just liked everybody.
Yeah.
Favorite Smash and Pass we have.
Speaking of that, let me throw in something real quick.
Yes, please.
Our most successful episodes on YouTube, though.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was our most successful episode, Julia?
Actually, I didn't check. Either a Smash or Pass, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
or one where we talk about something sexual or OnlyFans, something like that.
It was, in fact, episode 16 with Kayla.
With Kayla, the OnlyFans one.
Is our highest rated one.
Oh
Then
shit.
comes with 5.2k views.
Okay.
Then
Jesus
comes
Christ.
our female pleasure episode with
Mm-hmm.
4.1k views.
Mm-hmm.
And then episode 28, Do Sex Toys Destroy Relationships?
Yeah, I think that just confirms again the really old fact that sex sells. And not
Do you
in a
want to know
negative way.
Spotify?
Sure.
Because Spotify is like female pleasure is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 23, female pleasure had the highest views. And then it's actually Get to Know Us. Our very
Really?
first episode.
Oh
Yes. And
shit.
then our second episode, the reason why we stream in English. That
Damn.
was our top 3 on Spotify.
That's funny how it's like different on the different platforms. I think it
Yeah.
obviously also has to do with the thumbnails then. Like maybe we can get into the thumbnails as well because as for the people at least that would watch on YouTube or even see just our posts on Instagram when we announce that a new episode is out, you can clearly see how our thumbnails evolved from being like
Sorry.
super boring, simple um thumbnails to Steffi getting more and more creative and better. And I really have to
Yeah.
say, even if our podcast on scale is pretty small compared to others, I have to say, Steffi did such an amazing job with every single thumbnail. There's not a single thumbnail that I absolutely cannot look at. Like they're all so
Mhm.
good, and it felt like you got better and better with every single thumbnail
I feel like
that
that
you
as
made.
well. It started for me. It started here, episode 80, around 80, where I was finally happy. 82, 82, because we had the new like brush and everything and the
Hmm.
coloring. That was when I felt like, okay, I'm getting the hang of what I finally really want to do for us.
Hmm.
Yeah, 93 episodes in. Sorry, guys. No more thumbnails. But Smasher Pass One Piece, I really like this one most thumbnail wise because I
Yeah.
like the composition of everything, like
It looks
us in
so
the
good. It
middle,
looks like a
and then the
movie.
colorful.
Yeah, it looks like almost
Yes,
like a movie poster.
and the Baldur's Gate as well, Smasher Pass. It's like
Yeah,
those two are my favorite thumbnails.
I
Even
think
though we
so
have
too.
sexy pictures of us on a lot of them,
On
but
other
those two
ones,
are my favorites.
I like the spicy book one as well, just because it's good pictures of us.
Yeah, but
But
it's
I
still
would
it's like
say overall my favorite thumbnail is also I think it's the One Piece one.
mm-hmm.
I would say, yeah, I think the One Piece one is by far my favorite thumbnail. Like that
Yeah,
one, that one
yeah.
is so
It just
so so
pops
so
out.
good.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I don't know. Like I just I don't know. Anyway, like I
Yeah.
like a lot of the thumbnails that we have. Like there's none that I don't like. But um, yeah. And do you feel like what was the most clickbaity thumbnail we had? Like
What was
which
the
one
most
would you?
clickbaity? Scroll down a little bit, please.
I
What do
think
we
I know
have
which I think I know
here?
which one you want. I think I know. Is it the female pleasure one?
Either that or scroll up where I have the pink here. I mean, do toys destroy relationships? Yeah, and
I
then
think
there's
that one.
one more up. Um, this one. Do we watch
Do we watch
hentai? Is
hentai?
also like kind of clickbaity.
Mm-hmm. But like in the end, we
Um,
deliver in everything that we clickbait. Like even if we
yeah.
clickbait on it with like pictures and titles, like we fulfill like we answer the questions that are asked on the thumbnail. We answer or we talk about the topics that are
Yeah.
mentioned, and that's the main thing about what makes a clickbait successful or not. Like if you just clickbait with something and then you don't deliver what you promise, it is a shitty clickbait, but we deliver on what we bait with. So I
Yeah.
think they all work pretty good. But I think the female pleasure one is
Yeah.
a very good one.
Yeah.
I would say as well. Like that one
Hmm.
that one is really, really good.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and then we just want to talk about what are we gonna miss the most about the podcast.
What will I miss the most? Definitely that we have this routine, because this routine was very good for me.
Mhm.
Just even though it was sometimes on Mondays when I woke up and I was like, oh, today we have to record and I have to do my makeup and everything. But as soon as I was here and said here, I was excited to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Beside the ones where I felt very shitty because of my
yeah, when you're
physical
sick or
health,
something.
where I
Mm,
had to like punch through it. But that's a whole other topic and has nothing to do with why I didn't enjoy or
mm,
what I'll miss. So I'll definitely miss the routine we had, even though if it was just for every 2 weeks in the end.
mm.
So we definitely, I mean, we keep calling each other and we talk every now and
Yeah,
then,
we're
or
gonna do that
once a
anyway. But
week minimum.
mm,
But we definitely have to keep that up, because this is something that is really important to me, with like just the female engagement. You know what I mean?
yeah,
With female girly friends and stuff. So I really enjoy that, and I don't wanna miss out on this,
yeah. I mean that's the
even
thing
after the
why.
podcast.
Yeah, that's kind of it's the thing why we also started. So for the people
Yeah,
that maybe don't know how we started it, like Steffi and me would like obviously we're really good friends, right? Like we don't just do that because it's like a business thing. Like as you know, we didn't
when
make any
they're
money with the
when your
with the
bestie.
podcast.
How was the meme when your
When a
bestie
bestie
calls their best?
calls calls your bestie a bestie. No, when another person calls your bestie their bestie. So
Love it.
Steffi's best friend Ben, he just sent me this picture, this meme of the guy that is like like rolling the eyes like and gives like this weird look of like
Yeah, yeah.
when somebody else calls your bestie their bestie.
I
No,
love
but
it.
like Steffi and me we're obviously like really, really tight friends, and before we had the
Yeah,
podcast, we had podcasts on our phones together, so we would call each
true.
other um every few days or like once a week or every two weeks, and we would have those really long conversations that go from everything from like video games, relationships, spiritual stuff,
Yeah,
to just flat on gossip, like literally such a wide spectrum, that at some point we were talking about like, dude, people would love listening to this, and that is how we got the idea with Derps and Burps and why we made the
turns
podcast.
out they don't. No, I'm
Turns out you
joking.
guys had absolutely no interest, and that's why we're stopping. No, no, it's not that bad. I think honestly, I think we did a really good job.
We
Why
did.
why the podcast didn't get as popular as we wanted it to be? I don't really know what the case was, but anyway, we enjoyed it. We had a good time.
Yeah,
So what I will miss the most is that I already miss it since we only do it every 2 weeks and not every week.
yeah,
To have this call with Steffi, but I also realized as soon as we only did it 2 weeks, we also have like calls outside of the
yeah,
podcast more often again. So it
yeah.
just regulates itself. So what's gonna change for us
Totally.
is probably that we just have more calls um again in the real life, and
Yeah.
so you will just not be part of it. That's your loss, guys.
Exactly.
Not ours. But to get into the whole thing with what we won't miss, um maybe I chime into
Hmm.
this one. So I will not miss, like obviously having like a set appointment being here can be something really nice, right? You have a routine, you have something regular. It's almost like for me personally at least, it's almost like a therapy session. It's like I
Hmm.
process everything that I did in like the last week or at the end every 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
that is something that I learned in therapy as well. If a lot of things happen in your life and you don't really process what happened, that is when you get overwhelmed, when you get a lot of anxiety. So just doing kind of like a recap, so like this catch up that we do with Steffi and me. And obviously sometimes it's only like books that we read or like shows that we watch or what we did in real life, but sometimes it's also maybe things that make us sad, like when things happen in the family, when we're being sick, when we feel like we're imposters or whatever it is. Like there were so many different
Yeah.
topics that we talk about. And working through those things by just verbally putting those out, um that helped me mentally a lot. Like I
Yeah.
either write it down or I have to talk about it with a friend. So for me it was also somewhat of a therapy session. As I said already, like it's not gonna be gone because I have the calls with Steffi anyway. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna miss as well. On the other hand, having disappointment every single Monday for recording and not really knowing, like, is there gonna be an issue? Is it gonna be a longer episode?
Yeah.
You always have to block this big amount of time where you can't do anything else than recording. Is sometimes annoying. Like, sometimes you want to do stuff Monday, then somebody's sick, you need to find like a second person, you have to come
Yeah.
up with ideas, and sometimes you're just so drained from everything else that you can come up with good ideas, and then you feel like,
Mm.
oh man, are we just putting out an episode for the sake of putting an episode out, when we're just
Yeah.
basically giving you a catch up what happened. So for me it is a lot of time that's going to open up that we can put towards another project, which is nice
Mhm.
because in that project that we work on, we can make our own time. So Steffi can work
Yeah.
on her designs whenever she wants, whenever it fits her schedule. If she wants to do it at night, if she wants to do it on stream, like she can schedule it the way I want, the way she wants. And the same for me. Like I can sit at night when I watch my TV shows. I can do the bracelets. I can
Yeah.
edit reels. I can save memes that I want to do. Like we can work separately but together on our own terms.
Yeah.
Um, where I think in the end we're probably gonna work more hours than we did with the podcast. With Fehu, at least in the beginning. Yes,
I went through all of our podcast groups and counted calls together.
you did.
And roughly, because there wasn't, I think in the very beginning, we called each other and just sent just the information where the timestamps are.
Yeah,
So I just roughly like calculated those, but I
yeah,
did everything in this call, like in this
yeah.
group. I counted it all together. Um, and what do you think? How many episode hours do we have in total? What do you think? And
Oh
then how
shit.
many hours have we spent in calls?
I
Oh,
would say
podcast
we
only.
we have like podcast hours, roughly like I guess 100 hours.
Hmm. It's 113 hours,
Wow.
13 minutes and 56 seconds.
Oh my
Just
god.
podcast episodes.
Damn. See, you can, if maybe you missed some, guys. If you really miss us, you can
Yeah.
like catch up with other episodes. And like
Yeah.
I guess with like all the time we spend before and after, it must be almost double. Like I think work hours with like how much we sit together must be over 200 hours.
Yeah, it's 190 actually, roughly.
190? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I
147 pages of documents, like
and then
document pages.
and then we didn't count in how much editing hours in there.
Exactly. I
Because
I actually wrote down spent hours spent in Photoshop for myself, but
mhm,
then I was like, okay, no, scratch that because
yeah.
it's like I don't want to count all these hours. And then editing as well.
Exactly. Like you have to think
So
about like
yeah.
Steffi has to do all of the editing of the thumbnail. We did the research on like topics and like finding
Mm.
for Smash and Pass, like just idea gathering, right? And then obviously Fudge and the editors that we had before as well. We had Jess. Did we had somebody else? We had Jess editing. We had Fudge editing.
That's it.
Just those two? Yeah, okay. I
Mm.
wasn't sure. So on top of that, you have to think about like it's not only the podcast. Obviously, you cut the beginning and the end. You put the logos on it, so it's not that much work. But we also have like all the reels. We have the scheduling and social media and so on. There's a lot of work also that gets into um for the editors that do the stuff for us. We also like Steffi, for example, she writes like all the texts for the info boxes and so on and so on. So even those 200 hours or 190 hours, whatever it is, that you said for just the recording, that
Yeah.
is obviously not it. So if you think about it, like you have 100 something hours of podcast, and probably there's gonna be 4 times that time in
Yeah.
actual work that goes into that. And that is a lot of work. And that leads me to the point why I won't miss it. It is exactly the fact because we invested so many hours in a really
Yeah.
cool project, but all we did was technically lose money and not gain any money. Again, we lose the money because we paid editors to work on the episodes for us and do all the social media stuff. Um so that's the thing that I won't miss, that I have to pay monthly for something that I enjoy but doesn't give anything back.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm looking forward to having a project that is potentially giving back to us. I mean, obviously there's a community aspect. It's not like we didn't
No,
get
no, 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 no.
anything
It's
back,
not.
right?
It's not. It's not that. You can just like you can warp that sentence around so many things right now. That's why I was laughing.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
hey, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just funny.
But yeah. Oh, sorry, dog. Sorry,
I
somebody
will
rang
do.
the door. I think Nathan is going anywhere. Is that loud? Can you hear that? Yeah, right. Okay.
No, not
Um,
anymore.
not anymore. Okay. So yeah, that is like also one of the things that I'm looking forward to. That potentially there's something where you get something back for the effort that you put in and the hours that you put in. Obviously we don't know yet. How can you hear the dog bark? That's fine. Okay. So obviously we're not gonna know how successful the future business is. Maybe it's gonna come out at 0 or whatever. But it's something that we really want to try. It's something that we enjoy. Um, so again, it's one door that closes, another one that opens, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. You want to go into
Yeah,
what you're not gonna miss, Steffi?
it's actually the same. There's not much I can think of. I'll miss that I can say publicly, but I won't. I won't miss. But it's the same for me. Like it's a lot of work actually. And
Yeah.
sometimes or some days it was really just I had no muse for any thumbnails. I had no
Mm,
ideas because I was drained with the ideas or the pictures or whatever it was or the text on the thumbnail or just finding titles for episodes. I can tell by reading my descriptions when I was motivated and when I just didn't give a shit about anything
yeah.
because I had no like muse
Yeah, of
and
course.
no creativity left on this day. Um,
See, that's the
but
nice thing
that's
about the future project that we have. Like, we're not gonna have something like we have to deliver
yeah,
every Monday. We
yeah,
have to do this kind of things. So having
yeah,
no time restrictions or deadlines or responsibilities on when to deliver what, but just freely work
yeah.
and create things on
Awesome
our own
things. Yeah,
terms um is something really freeing for me, and
yeah,
it's also very refreshing to just have
yeah.
something new to work on, right?
Defo. Yeah. So
Yeah. And then I would say the last question to end the podcast is, what did we learn through this podcast? How did we change? What was it that
I think let me check if I have some stats left. I forgot just to
Mhm.
be sure. Um, oh, YouTube. I just
Mhm.
wanted to say total hours on YouTube, watched hours. We have
Yeah.
4.3K.
Wow. Holy
Mm-hmm.
moly.
And 124,700 views,
Dang.
which is, to be fair, for a podcast with 1 hour episodes, like that's a lot of views. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because people usually are like, "Oh, that's a podcast by," "Oh, that's 1 hour ICBA," or whatever it is.
Mm,
So I'm impressed by that. And I think that's all about.
the stats.
That's about it. I that's all I wrote down.
Mhm.
Um, what did we learn? Like I learned a lot and we grew together, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 years now, and in these 2 years, a lot of shit happened. Not only, hold up, it's 2023 and we started in 20, no, we're almost 2 years and because we started 2022 January
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, but
podcast.
technically it's like a full
It's
2, yeah.
basically 2 years. Yeah, I was just
Mhm.
thinking if we started after Corona, we started after Corona.
Mm.
Um, so first of all, just not restricting myself too much in my own podcast or in our
Mm.
own podcast. As I said in the beginning, like you're just very reserved, and then at some point I kind of got confident and like more comfortable with it. That's something I learned. And then obviously through our talk, because it's nice sessions and it's nice things that we talk about, especially with the spiritual things, where you literally just say what's on your mind and how you think about certain things in life and how your brain is just wired. So you get to know the other person as well, like how they think or how you think in that case for me.
Mm.
And it's just like opening more doors for me or worlds for me. So I learn a lot through you and through myself while talking.
Mm.
Um, what else did we learn? What else did I learn? Can you throw something in? I'll
Yeah,
think
sure.
of.
So
Let me check the
for me,
episode.
it's the same. Like, just having a point of view on whatever topic
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about. Alarm! A last alarm!
Alarm! Sorry, guys, our alarm. Oh,
The last
no.
one. Oh no. Um. So yeah. Same for me. Like, obviously, or as both of us said multiple times, we have very different views on different topics. While we agree on certain or on a lot of things as well. So, for me, having a second set of eyes, looking at the same thing from a different perspective and giving your input and bouncing
Mm-hmm.
ideas off each other, um is something that, for example, me when I was younger, I was struggling with a lot. So, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
also in the beginning with the podcast, like obviously I worked through it in therapy as well. But I think we started the podcast when I just went through like the biggest change in therapy, and where
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I learned to first allow other people's opinions and point of views into my life, because before I
Mm-hmm.
knew they were there, but there's only one opinion that's mine and every other one is wrong, if that makes sense. And I
That's
feel like
correct for me.
I mean, to some extent, no, but you
Nah, nah,
know,
nah. It's just yeah.
I think I've really learned to be more open towards other people's point of views and ideas, even if I might not
Mm-hmm.
agree with them, especially in the beginning when I think about it. But like, I
Yeah.
feel like my horizon opened a lot towards a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different things. I got a lot of different point of views. I got more open towards things. I think I got way more fluent in leading conversations into directions,
Mm-hmm.
in changing topics in a fluent way that is hopefully enjoyable to listen to. So
Yeah.
I feel like as a I don't know, like I mean, I can just talk hours on end without the pausing. If that's a good thing or a bad thing. Um Probably outside of the podcast space, not really a really nice thing. Um but yeah, I think, and obviously like through the guests and through so many different topics and opinions and inputs that we got from listeners in comments,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things. There's so many new angles that I learned. But overall, um to just narrow it down, I think I got a better person at leading conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I got more open to other people's opinions, and
Mm-hmm.
I learned to agree to disagree is a very good tool in friendships.
Mm-hmm.
As well, even though you know the other person is wrong. Um no, yeah, I would say that's most of the things. And like, and I feel like obviously I got to know Steffi in real life a lot as well, but I also learned a lot of things about you as a friend. Doesn't matter if it's on a business perspective or on a social level, or like how you
Yeah.
react and how you are in like pressure situations. I learned that we can always rely on each other,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. And I think just showing that we stop with this and straight start with like another business together again, just
Yeah.
shows that even though we spent 2 years together doing so many podcasts and we still don't hate each other, right? Or don't want
Yeah.
to, because like even like the people that we worked through, or I worked with other people, like for example to work for me or something, there was always like a point where I was like, okay, yeah, it's not working out for one way or another anymore. Like, I never had that with Steffi, because
No, neither.
we can always be like 100% honest. Like, I can tell her when like I don't really like that, I don't feel that, and she will never take it as like, oh my god, that bitch. Like for example, Steffi is doing so much um design work now for Fehu. Like she has so many hours of work that she needs to put in, and she's working way more than me, obviously, on this sprint right now. I just do like small stuff with my pros, so it's not a lot of work that I do. Like obviously I do some research and shit, but like if you compare
You're
it,
the
like
other
Steffi
one,
is doing
yeah.
like a huge amount. And she never makes me feel like I'm doing less than her, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like often when you work with people and the workloads are different, they will be somewhat condescending towards you or make
Mm-hmm.
you feel in one way or another. Yeah, but in this I'm doing the bigger part. Like I'm doing more. I'm doing or you're doing less than me or whatever it is. And I never had that working in any way with you. That
Yeah.
I never felt like I always felt equal with you. I never felt like there was no balance in between us. Like I feel like even
Yeah.
if there's
Because
work.
y- you know how it is. Your money balances out by hours of work.
I pay the
So
I
it's
pay the
like,
shit. Steffi does the work.
yeah, that's
I
what
am
nah, but
lazy.
you know what I mean? You do
Yeah.
it's just it's it's not that one of us is doing everything and the other one is doing nothing. Like it balance even if it doesn't balance out now, it balances out at some point
Yeah,
all
it
the
the
time.
the big
So
picture is always
yeah.
equal. Like we're always
Yeah,
equal in
exactly.
the big picture, and nobody feels superior to the other person because we both
Yeah.
know that every one of us has a different skill set or money or whatever it is.
Curse.
My skill
So,
set. Julia, what
so
is
I'm
your
like,
skill set? Yeah, I have the money.
she's the sugar mommy. No, but I never even had the thought like of thinking
Yeah,
that
me neither.
you do less than me or anything. I never had that, and I like
But think
that's
about
a
it
fact.
with everybody else. With everybody
Yeah,
else, I have that. I'm gonna be
yeah,
honest with every single person
yeah.
beside of you that I work with. I'm always questioning like, is that fair? Like, is the work that's being done still on the same quality that it has been? Like those kind of things. Like I'm always at least questioning or thinking about those kind of things. With
Mm-hmm.
you, it's a no brainer. Like I
Yeah,
don't even I would never
blindly
even
trusting.
it would never even come up in my brain and being like, do I feel like Steffi's still like committed to this? Like
Mm,
never. I would never, because
yeah,
if a thought like this would come up, I would be like, hey Steffi, do we still feel the podcast? Like for us,
yeah.
when we started talking about like ending the podcast, it was the same. There was no like, Steffi, I really feel like you don't like the podcast anymore. Do you want to talk? And like it's just like, hey Steffi, do we feel like still doing this? Because for me,
It's okay.
honestly, it's always like this honesty without having fear of judgment. So
Yeah, to the point.
to the point. So yeah,
Period.
I think that was a long episode. It was 1.5 hours, but we
It
just didn't
was.
want to let you go.
Yeah.
Any last words, Steffu?
Thank you guys for those 2 years. Thank you for sharing your opinions with us.
Even if
Thank
they
you for
were wrong
following
sometimes.
us, even though if they're wrong, we're wrong. I can't talk anymore. Um, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in, no matter if it was Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, or wherever you consumed our content, even if it was just a short time media on Instagram or TikTok, no matter where you came from, we appreciate you. I really appreciate you. It was a very nice time. We had amazing talks. We had funny episodes. We had sad episodes. Like the times I cried in the episodes as well,
Same.
out of happiness or sadness. It's just it was a very nice ride, and I really appreciate that we grew together, Julia,
Same.
in this.
Same for me. Like, thank you for everybody that supported us. Doesn't matter if it was through watching, commenting, being a silent spectator, being a
Yeah.
Patreon, whatever it is that you did, even if you just listened to one episode or just know the name and follow our social media, we really, really appreciate you. We're thankful for everything we have. Thank you for everything that you shared with us. And yeah, thank you, Steffi, for also
Thank
these
you,
beautiful
Julia.
moments. I'm really happy that we
I love
made those
you.
memories and we have them all forever on our platforms to look back to. Like
Yeah.
one thing I'm excited to is when we're gonna be fucking 60 years old and we're gonna be like, you know what,
Listen to our
we
YouTube
should pull up the
podcast.
let's pull up that episode. Look how stupid we were.
Ah.
And I obviously love you too. I'm super thankful for everything we have. And this is
Same.
not a full goodbye, guys. We're still here. You know, you can still find Steffi on stream. You can find me on stream. You can find us on all the other
See.
social media. All the links are down below in the comments. No matter if you just showed up, if you just found this podcast through this episode, I'm really sorry. But you have 93 episodes to catch up to, and if you miss
Yeah.
us too much, you can always visit us on our other
Yeah.
social medias. Guys, maybe we're gonna see each other again on this platform. If not, I'm sorry. We love you anyways.
Kind
And
of sad right now. I'm kind
yeah.
of sad. This is actually because I didn't realize that we're actually ending. You know what I mean? Until this moment right now,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, shit, we're ending.
Mm,
Okay,
this-
it just hit
I
me.
want
I'm
to
sorry,
say
guys.
I want to say this is not a goodbye, but it is a goodbye.
Yeah,
Till maybe
to
one day.
our people, not to us. Like gladly,
Nah,
but
Stephanie's gonna read me. Gonna call me 2 days later. Nah, but anyway, guys, thank you so much for everything. Let's not make it more emotional than this. We
Mm.
got you. We gave you an extra long one. Thank you so much for everything. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'm sure we're gonna meet again one day or another. Thank you so much for everything. Bye.
Love you.
I love
Last
you.
piece.